9 foods that hinder diabetes control. These foods seem healthy, which is why many people make mistakes. As an endocrinologist, I discuss diet and blood sugar control daily. I see these 9 foods often consumed. People think they're healthy and don't affect blood sugar, but they actually sabotage diabetes control. Why? Unlike obvious culprits like table sugar, these foods seem healthy, but they directly impact blood sugar levels. So what are these foods? Eggs, fish, avocado, nuts? Well, one of these 4 I'll definitely talk about. So pay attention to these 9. Many are surprising. I'll start in descending order, 9th to 1st, as the first one is commonly mistaken and can greatly affect blood sugar control. Most know the 9th and 8th, especially video followers, but not the others. This video will have many surprises for you. Let's begin. What foods can negatively impact blood sugar levels? They can spike your glucose. Number 9, cereal bars and saltine crackers, those that come in small packages. Why? They're packed with concentrated carbs. Many cereal bars contain corn syrup, glucose syrup, and other processed ingredients that can negatively impact blood sugar control. This one, I said, wouldn't be a surprise. If you're surprised, something's wrong because you should have known this already, okay? Still, many people don't know, which is why I put it at number 9 on our list, all right? Why? There's strong advertising pushing you to consume these cereal bars. They're marketed as healthy snacks or nutritious meals, but they're loaded with added sugar, syrup, and high-calorie ingredients. Got it? So if you're diabetic, you should avoid them. Remember, this video's theme is about blood sugar levels, okay? It's for diabetics. I'm not saying eating a cereal bar will make you diabetic or severely damage your health, okay? That's not the video's purpose. The video aims to discuss foods diabetics should avoid, not that health-conscious people will become diabetic, okay? Let's not confuse the video's topic. It's crucial you understand our main points here, okay? So cereal bars, crackers, packaged cookies, avoid these. It'll help with diabetes and blood sugar levels. Number 8, which many know but I'll include, are fruit and flavored yogurts. Many yogurts have added sugar and syrups, which can spike blood sugar, okay? It's not a very healthy option for people with diabetes. There are alternatives like plain low-fat yogurts without added dyes, syrups, or other additives. Got it? I support dairy products for those without lactose intolerance or milk protein allergies. Many say, but I'm lactose intolerant. In that case, it's better to avoid them, okay? But most people, over 90% of the population, have no issues with lactose. Some studies suggest over 95% have little to no sensitivity, so you can consume it safely without spiking your glucose. However, it's best to avoid the heavily processed, industrialized varieties with lots of additives. Now, dairy products like skim milk and low-fat white cheeses can also be good options. Low-fat yogurt, plain yogurt, and unflavored yogurt are fine too. These can be part of a balanced diet for diabetics. It's best to avoid the other types, okay? Some have fruit pictures and marketing to seem healthy, but if you're watching your blood sugar, it's best to avoid them and make better choices. Many diabetics I talk to consume foods from this list. That's the big problem. They think they're being healthy, but their blood sugar levels don't improve. Why? Because there are many dietary mistakes here. Most often we can fix this through education and knowledge. Number 7, another food diabetics should avoid is dried fruit, like raisins, dates, apricots, and candied or dehydrated fruits. Why? Why is it crucial for diabetics to avoid these? Let's use raisins as an example. A handful of raisins, about 100 grams, contains nearly 80 grams of carbs. That's 80 grams. Most of it is carbohydrates, so avoid them. Diabetics must avoid these as they'll spike blood sugar levels. Even small portions are risky, okay? These foods are concentrated with a high glycemic load and sugar content. Plus, the sugar type itself can cause blood sugar spikes. For diabetics, dried fruits make blood sugar control very difficult. You know I'm a big fan of fruits. It's not the fruit's fructose that'll harm you or hinder control. On the contrary, it can help you, okay? but dried fruits should be avoided. Now, other fruits diabetics can eat quickly: strawberries, oranges with pulp, peaches, berries like blackberries, raspberries, cherries, guava, and avocado are excellent for diabetics. Other great fruits: passion fruit, papaya, melon, even watermelon, which has fewer carbs. So fruits are indeed excellent for those with diabetes. Let's continue with the list, and number 6. This also seems healthy: boxed coconut water from the supermarket. This is a common mistake among diabetics. I don't drink soda anymore, just coconut water now. But which coconut water? When I check, it's the packaged kind. It often has added sugar and substances that can affect blood sugar. If you're diabetic, it's best to avoid packaged coconut water. Let's move on to item number 5 on our list: oatmeal. If you're diabetic and surprised, managing sugar levels, well, you'll need to make many dietary changes. But why isn't oatmeal recommended for people with diabetes? You know, oats have many benefits even for cholesterol. Oats can be part of a healthy diet. However, for diabetics, it's a specific concern. Why is that? About 65% of oats composition is carbohydrates or sugars. Also, compared to other fibers, it has a lower fiber content. Got it? So if you're diabetic, consider swapping oats for psyllium, chia, flax, or pumpkin seeds. These may help you more than oats. Eating oats might lead to excess carb intake, as it's mostly carbs, so it's best to avoid them, okay? For cholesterol and general health, oats can be good. But remember, this video is specifically about diabetes. For diabetics, this swap is definitely worth making. Let's continue our list. Number 4, which will surprise many, is sauces. Salad dressings, Caesar mustard, or honey mustard dressings, even ketchup, mustard, mayo. A healthy salad becomes unhealthy with Caesar or Parmesan dressing, adding lots of fat. It's processed, but that's not all. I'm not totally against processed foods, but many have additives, high sodium and added sugar. Ketchup too. These foods are high in sodium, like soy sauce, so be careful with sauces. Sometimes diabetics do everything else right. These are the 4 most critical, and I see diabetics often get everything else right. You know about oats, yogurts, and cereal bars I mentioned, but you use too many dressings. Oh, I'm adding Parmesan or Caesar dressing to my salad. Well, that's excess calories, added sugar, and sodium. High blood pressure is a concern for diabetics, as these conditions are often linked. Increased insulin levels in diabetics can worsen sodium and fluid retention, so it's best to avoid these dressings, okay? If you like seasoning salads, try apple cider or balsamic vinegar instead. It's a healthier swap. I always suggest healthy alternatives here. I prefer apple cider vinegar, alright? Many videos say to drink apple cider vinegar, but imagine just drinking vinegar, right? Long term, that's not sustainable, but you can add it to salads. It's a beneficial option and you'll save calories. While a Parmesan dressing won't impact you immediately, excess calories can worsen insulin resistance over time. So it's worth making this switch. Number 3. Top 3 that seem healthy but can harm your diabetes. Before that, I'll invite you to join the Diabetes Club. I post weekly videos exclusive for members. For more info, click Become a Member and join our group. Could it be the world's largest diabetic group? Who knows? I'll tell you later. Let's continue. What are the 3 worst? Number 3, greatly impacting blood sugar. Natural juices like grape and orange juice. You're thinking, wow, grape juice is one of the worst? Strong words, right? And yes, I'm putting this in the worst category because many people fall for the natural label. Oh, the juice has no additives. And they end up drinking more, okay? That's why it's classified as one of the worst. It's often misleading. People think it's very healthy, but for diabetics, especially those managing blood sugar, extra caution is needed. A glass of grape or orange juice, let's use these examples. A small orange juice has about 25 grams of carbs, depending on the source. In other words, it's a carbohydrate with a high glycemic index. What does that mean? And when you drink the juice, it'll raise your blood sugar levels more quickly. Diabetics should avoid it, okay? So there's no point in swapping soda for orange juice. It might even be worse in the short term, got it? Swapping 0-calorie soda for juice will raise blood sugar levels more. Remember, this is specifically for diabetics. Now let's talk about grape juice. You might say, but grapes are super healthy. True, I agree, grapes are healthy. I love them and drink grape juice too. But for diabetics, a small cup has about 35 grams of carbs. That's even worse than orange juice. What happens if you're diabetic? Juice lacks fiber, spikes blood sugar more, and has a higher glycemic load. So eat the fruit, but skip the juice, okay? You can do everything else right. But too much juice will keep raising your blood sugar levels. Number 2 is another tricky one. Extremely healthy foods that can benefit your thyroid and boost metabolism. But if you're diabetic, be extra careful with nuts. Peanuts, Brazil nuts, cashews, macadamias, and almonds. Wait, why is that? Oh, and walnuts too. Gotta watch those. How come? Because diabetics need to mind their calories. We know that excess calories can lead to more fat tissue, right? Simply put, it can cause weight gain. But why? Every 100 grams of peanuts or other nuts can pack 500 to 600 calories. That's a lot for a diabetic to eat, in such a short time. Like when you're watching a movie or at the cinema where they sell those peanuts, start checking calories. You'll be shocked how high they are. It may not impact you short term, but long term, it'll affect your blood sugar control due to insulin resistance and weight gain. So you have to consider this too. Diabetics often focus on glycemic index, forgetting long-term effects when food increases blood sugar. That's why many can't control blood sugar or reduce meds. It gets complicated if you only focus on carbs, glycemic index, and load while ignoring overall food calories. Control in the long term is just as crucial as short-term management. When first managing diabetes, limit nuts. They're high in calories and small amounts can impact blood sugar. I enjoy walnuts and macadamias daily, just like I mentioned drinking some orange juice. However, I'm not actively managing my blood sugar levels. The biggest trap for diabetics, from my conversations and experience, is this. Over a month, talking daily with diabetics, I identified key foods hindering blood sugar control. Number 1 is excess oil. Cooking with too much oil, using lard, coconut oil, and even too much olive oil. What's the scientifically proven dose of olive oil that can help your heart, reduce cardiovascular disease without adding excess calories? 7 ml per day. Many people use 5, 6, or even 10 times more than that. The food ends up swimming in oil, gets very greasy, and you consume excess calories too, okay? If you're adding it to salad instead of vinegar, use a little olive oil, but keep the portion very controlled. It's easy to overdo it with oils. And lard? That's even worse. Diabetics should definitely avoid it. It's high in saturated fat, which is especially bad for diabetics. Got it? It can increase the risk of heart disease. Other fats, like coconut oil, are often thought to be healthy, but should be avoided. They contain higher amounts of saturated fat. So, be cautious with oils. Avoid cooking with oil. Use non-stick pans or oven bake to skip adding oil, which greatly increases calories. Some cooking methods can triple the calorie count. For diabetics, this can significantly impact blood sugar levels. On a scale of 0 to 10, how would you rate this video? Comment below. Which part surprised you the most? Which of these mistakes are you making, or are you not making any? Congratulations! Share what you learned in your city in the comments. I'm speaking from Porto Alegre. Now I'll suggest a video for you to watch. It's about signs of diabetes at night. Nighttime is often crucial for diagnosis. Did you know many diabetics have high blood sugar at night? Is that your case? I discuss main signs, symptoms, and solutions. 8 tips to help control your blood sugar levels. Take care. See you next time.